Hi, this is a road drawing tutorial. This is not a traffic management video, but mostly in the aesthetic aspect of how to draw road that looks beautiful. Before we get into drawing anything, we need to go through a few things first. First, we're going to look into the mod that we're going to use. First, TMPA, or Traffic Manager. This is the only mod that is capable of adjusting the behavior of traffic. Next, we need Move It. This is a mandatory mod for any sort of detailing works. The ability to move anything without limitation is very powerful. Next, we have Node Controller Renewal. We call it NCR for short. Node Controller is used to adjust the geometry of road. For example, this move corner here is adjusted with Node Controller. Then, Intersection Marking Tool, or IMT for short. All the marking on this road are made with IMT. IMT is not only used to make marking. You can also add all sorts of decoration such as prop, tree, or decorative network. You can also write text on the road. Of course, we also need network anarchy, which gives you a panel here. Notice this max segment length down here. You always want to max this to 256 meters. Understand that this game do have a limit for the amount of object you can draw. Building have its own limit, tree have its own limit, road also have a limit. So it's not possible to fill the map 100%. The default is 98 meters, which is more than 2 times shorter than the setting here. Setting it to 256 allows you to build more road and build a bigger city. Ensure this button, the Anarchy button, is turned on. This will remove any limitation imposed by the vanilla game, so you can just draw anything you want, overlap the road however you want. Next, we're going to look into the setting for Move It. Scroll down. You will find two functions which are very important in all sorts of things we're doing, especially in drawing roads. Slope object and align object to the same height. I set Ctrl S and Ctrl H here. In case it didn't set already, set 1 for it. Slope object is to align bumpy slope into smooth slope. Align object height allow you to align object of different height to the same one, so they stay flat. Up here in the right side corner, we also have toggle it. With toggle it mode, we can constantly show some information. For example, contour line, which is assigned to F here. By default, the contour line did not show up normally unless you're in the landscape sculpting. By toggle it on here, we can constantly see the topology. Ability to see the topology is very important in drawing roads. If you notice, the line have two different weight. The bold line and the thin line. Between the bold line are 10 meters, or about 33 feet maybe. Between the thin line are 1 meter, or about 3 feet. Before we get started, we need to understand a few terminology first. This is a road. It consists of one segment here, which you can bend it or set it straight, and each end of the segment consists a node. Now I'm going to talk about the basic functionality of individual mod. This is not a full-on tutorial of each mod, but just some function that we often use. Let's start with move it. Let's say I want to make this a slope. You can select a node for page up, page down to adjust them. But how about if I want this to slope smoothly? Select it, change to marquee selection, select the whole thing, hit Ctrl S. Now it is sloped, but it looks weird. The intersection here by default is always flat. In order to change that, we need to use node controller. Click on the node, change it from flat to slope. Now it is able to slope smoothly. What if I want this to be the same height as this node? Select this node, hit Control hash, select target node as a reference. Now it will be the same height. Notice when you align height, the target circle is white. Now we are going to talk about the basic functionality of node controller. Node controller is used to adjust the geometry. When you click on the node, you see this big circle and small circle you can drag. You can make the corner smoother, but make sure you do not drag this thing to the max. This is not recommended. Leave some distance left. You can also adjust it on the UI. Use your scroll wheel on the text box to adjust the value. You can hold Shift, it will increase 10 at a time. Or you can hold Control button to do a smaller step adjustment. In case the shape ends up like this instead of right angle, we can actually click this button, plus looking button, to automatically fix it. The shift function is used to adjust left and right movement. This is particularly very useful when joining roads of different sizes. Let's see if we can make an example here. This is a two-lane road. This is a 3-lane road, symmetrical. Notice the line did not match up at all. Change this to solid. The line is curved. In this case, you can use node controller to shift one side so the line becomes flat. Again, hold Control for fine adjustment. Now it looks much better. You can also stretch a node, either reduce the size or increase the size. Increasing the size is typically used to create a counter set. Let's adjust this. Now you sort of have a counter set. Intersection marking tool. Aside from drawing lines, it can also add props, trees, network decoration, writing text, and many other functions. Mess around with this value to see what it does. When you draw a line, notice that it creates a line here, an entry over here, and also entry over here. This you can delete, and this entry is still here. A rule basically means an item that you add onto this line. The rule can be many kinds of objects, be it a line, prop, decal, tree, and many more. Let's try to add a tree here. You can of course adjust the spacing, the position, and many more. The advantage of adding tree, prop, and decorative network with IMT is that these objects are not counted toward the game's object limit. So this 6 tree here is not counted toward the tree limit. Whenever possible, add decoration along road with IMT. For example, decorative network. Let's say I have a hedges here. Instead of plopping the hedges manually, add it as a rule under IMT instead. Of course, you can adjust position. The position maximum is 50 meters, I believe. So you can adjust it very far away. Of course, 50 meters on the other side as well. Next, I'm going to talk about assets, road assets. What kind of road assets we should be using? First, do not use network extension tool. This thing is very obsolete, and it also worsens your game performance. Please don't use it. The common recommended road assets collections includes Vanilla Plus, Vanilla Plus, Big Road, Maybe Shuto if you build Japanese city. The road I use here are called Metropolis State Expressway. These are the most beautiful highway assets available right now. This is the common problem pretty much every player faces when they start a new map. A pair of parallel highway. How do you connect this smoothly into a local road or a venue? If this is a bridge, try to build it to land mode first. Okay, let me change that. Force land mode. Don't be surprised by this road behavior, which did not affect terrain. This is a special feature for this road asset. This Metropolitan Expressway, the ground mode did not affect terrain, and it comes with built-in retaining wall. This is very handy to create slope like this. It looks realistic out of the box, although I need to fix this hole later. Next, I'm going to merge this into a 2+2 avenue. Okay, then connect them together. Don't worry if it looks like a mess, we will fix that later. If it looks like a mess. Next, we're going to fix the geometry by using mod controller. As you can see, there's a small circle at the corner and big circle at the middle with different color. We can drag this thing around. For example, in this case, I want to split the blue and red part by using the shift value. Let's try 5 meter. Okay, much better. Now they split apart. Try to fix the rest of the geometry. Looks a lot nicer. And drag this thing. Not bad, but the slope is not looking very nice. Select this, Ctrl S. We want to change this to slope mode. Ctrl S again. Now the slope should be smooth. Next, I'm going to tackle this marking. Set to solid. In case if you draw a line and the line kinda appear only halfway, click on this Clip Sidewalk button. You should fix that. Solid here, solid here. This is actually preset I saved earlier. You can save a preset by clicking this plus button, Save as Template. Give it a name, and save it. Save your most commonly used style to save a lot of time in your creation. Next, you can see that the line did not align at all. Go to the point tab here. Find the correct point to adjust. You arrange one. And adjust the offset. You can use Ctrl or Shift key for smaller adjustment. Control for smaller adjustment. The blue one, 0.16. Okay, perfect. Next, I'm going to connect this rod to somewhere else. Make sure your topology is on. Let's say you want to connect here to here. A lot of players, they tend to draw this highway or regional road directly as straight as possible. That's really boring, especially on map like this. If you're playing a flat map, wide open flat map, fine, that's okay. But if you're playing a map with very limited build area and very beautiful terrain, don't draw road as straight like this. It's boring. Instead, we follow the curvature of the landscape. For example, here, the edge of the water and the edge of the mountain. Okay, let's try. I'm going to use a 2x2 avenue. You don't need to actually use highway. After all, on PC, you can just change the speed limit for any road, or just remove the speed limit. Now this road have no speed limit. The AI can drive as fast as they want. You can change this per segment, per lane. For example, set 90 for the outside, or for the entire road type. You don't need to use highway all over the place, especially the vanilla one, actually pretty ugly. Okay, let's try to draw it along the shoreline. You might notice that I'm drawing it in a very funny way. Don't worry about it. We're going to correct that later. You don't need to get things perfect on the first try. There is a hill here. Small hill. I'm just going to avoid it. Follow the terrain. Don't just ignore it. If you want a natural result, consider the terrain in your design. Okay, going to the foot of the mountain. This is a good place for an intersection. Okay. Now I'm going to fix these janky looking roads simply by using node controller. Increase the offset. Now the corner is smooth. Of course, you can draw the road smooth from the get-go if you want. The next thing I'm going to do is draw a road up to this mountain. Again, player typically draw roads as straight as possible like this. Now this is very boring. Sometimes even have terrible slope. To draw a beautiful looking road, again follow the topology. Let's say we start here. Again, I don't need to get it perfect on the first try. Just say okay, like this. Follow the topology line. Okay, find some relatively flat area. Okay, up. Here, take a bend. Up 10 meter. Up 10 meter. Okay. Should I go here? Or make a bend around here? This area is very steep, so not really recommended. Instead, I'm going to go here. 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 Let's say end here. Okay. Again, this area is very steep. Okay, going down, finally. Let's try here. Here. Don't worry about the AI. They do not have field limit. You do not need to give them the ultimate convenience. Okay, now to fix up these janky looking roads. Going to smooth this corner. And I'm going to do something about this bend. Let's try this. Okay, this may like it. Smooth. Smooth. Oh, marking is broken. Line, height. Okay, so the band is flat. Okay, next. Adjust the shifting. Don't like the line is not aligned. Let's see what we can do. Custom. That way. Remove the default line. Okay, here. I'm going to stretch the blue much wider. This time is the red. Stretch it. Let's customize it with IMT. Solid. Orange. That's about right. I'm going to save this. Yes. solid. Save. This here, solid. White. This here, solid white. Okay. Now I'm going to make a fill here. First, let me draw a line here. Line, solid. Make a fill. White. Maybe orange. This will be a colorful. Adjust the angle. Okay, that's about right. I'm going to copy this and paste it over here. Rotate it until it looks right. Okay. IMT can also customize segment. I'm going to paste it here. That looks wrong. Okay. Just going to redo this. Solid. 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 And fill. I'm going to copy the fill here. And paste. The angle is wrong. Adjust it. Yeah, it's okay. We are not done yet. I'm going to adjust this to slot mode. Changing it to slot mode allows you to adjust the twist value. The twist is for banking effect. Slope to one side, as you can see. Normally for mountain road, the inside corner is sloped inward, such as this. This allows the vehicle to turn much more easily. Okay. And to twist it by 10 degrees, maybe a bit too much, but whatever. Okay. Now the rod is a sloped banking inward. This is a lot more realistic. Next, we want to make sure this is relatively flat. Add a knot here. Flat, flat, flat. Line height. Just going to smooth the terrain a bit. There's a bit of clipping for the texture. Okay, fix the texture glitches by using a different rod asset. This time I'm using the blank rods. Okay. There's another board that we need to talk about, which is the Network skin mode. Network skin allows you to remove something from the road. For example, the lamppost per segment. For example, I want to remove this lamppost. Scroll up. When you select a road, it will appear at the right side. Non-upgrade. I mess up my... Okay. Same for this one. I'm going to remove it. Remove that one. Okay. Now I'm going to add some props along the edge. We start by here, or maybe here. I have a rule here, add rule, decorative network, and pick a railing. Let's see. Let's see, KB1 RH1C. Going to shift the position. Add another rule for the prop. The stand for the railing. KBR. KB1R. Okay. Step every 2.5 meter. Shift position. Change the angle. Adjust the position to fit. I'm going to set this as template. KB1 railing. KB1 railing. Rule. KB1 railing. Shift it up. Rule for the prop. Okay, we have a safety railing. Over here, I'm going to add another rule for prop sign. I don't remember the code name. Let's see. This one. Angle. Shift. Yeah. Much nicer. Okay, we did a simple T-intersection. Next, we're going to try a slightly more complicated T-intersection. In this case, I want to make a bypass, maybe underpass for this direction, going under, and merge here. So they do not need to wait for traffic light to go this direction. Instead, they can just take this underpass. Okay, let's try it. Okay, going to find a single lane road. Don't be shy about the distance. Put it as far as you want. We're going to fix that later. I just want to put the shape roughly where I want. Okay. Something like that. I'm going to push that down, edge down. Let's get a truck crop. Just want to measure the height. Okay. Use the network multi-tool. I want to add a segment here. I'll add a node here. Elevator. Okay. The height is alright. Okay, align slope, Control S. I want to move this further away. Too many nodes in this area. I'm going to remove one with network multi-tool. Straighten this. Let's make the curve a bit more beautiful. Let's see. Single direction, two lane. Mm, single direction pooling. I'm just going to use the inner lane as decorative. Can't click that. Oh, we have difficulty. Okay. Solid. Solid. And fill it. With orange marking. Oops. 0.5 angle. Okay. The line isn't showing up. Toggle the tip sidewalk. Okay, nice. Okay, now the merging point. Solid. 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 Have a fill. Paste. Fix the angle. It's okay. There, a lot more interesting. You are still here? Man, I thought you guys are falling asleep already. Anyway, if you're looking for some assets and props for road decoration, road signs, curb, or barrier, the guardrail, you can find it in my collection here. I'll put a link in the description. This video is long enough. Okay, next time I probably going into something more complicated. For example, standard interchange design or spaghetti interchanges. Okay, that's it for now.